Are you ready to learn? Because my super experienced guests are ready to share some really valuable information. Make sure and listen all the way to the end to get help and support. So let's start with the best audio experience.
Hello guys, welcome to our show. Today we discuss about digital marketing empires. So good people, welcome. By the way, I don't want to discriminate bad people. Welcome to our show as well. Anyone who want to learn more about digital marketing, how you can build your empire, welcome, because today we are going to learn a lot. That's why I'm so excited to discuss this topic with Ola. How are you?
What's going on, man? Good to see you. Thanks for having me.
I check out your profile. I'm excited to learn more about digital marketing, especially, of course, I have a goal to build my empire. I think my audience wanna have their empire. So before we start, just tell more about yourself, experience, background, and why you decided to share with us about building empires.
I know, right? Thanks for having me again. I appreciate you. So basically, my name is Ola Tux Abitogun, and I'm an author 4 times. I'm also the creator of my Empire Pro. You know, it's just something that I've always I felt like it's just part of my personality. I'm always building. I'm always creating. You know, so I got to a point some years back, a little bit over a decade now. I decided that I wanted to create a platform where I can also share my thoughts, my inspirations around building empires, but particularly building and creating. So, and that's what I've been doing since then. So, but I also find the internet fascinating that I'm able to share how I'm doing it. You know, that's part of the beauty of the internet. So that's how we got here, you know.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, let's start from the basic. Can you tell where to start? Because digital marketing is huge. Now we have different platforms, methods, paid marketing, organic reach, SEO, social media, live streams, many stuff. How to choose the right channel? Because I see when companies are trying to cover a lot of channels from scratch without having results with one channel, and I did it as well in 2020. Now I decided to grow my audience, and I tried to cover Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, everywhere, but I failed to get results, and my best results were like 5 followers a day. Then I switched all my attention to LinkedIn, where I could grow my audience a lot because of paying attention to priorities. Can you tell about finding the right channel?
All right. So, in my opinion, the right channel is the channel where you are already familiar with, that you kind of spend time on already. It's very unlikely that you've never really spent time on the internet and you're trying to build a business on the internet. So there's a good chance that you already have a profile somewhere, you spend a lot of time there, and even if it's just for entertainment purposes only. So if you already do that, there's a good chance that you have a better understanding of how that platform works, right? And provided they have like ads platform and stuff like that where you can also pay to play, right? But more importantly, there's organic reach. There's a reason why you're spending time consuming content that people are posting on there. So if you were to start from scratch, I would say pick the channel that you are familiar with already, and then start from there. I would ever say at the back of your mind, you definitely should be keeping the omni-channel approach at the back of your mind. At some point, you want to expand to a few other platforms, because honestly, it's an active marketplace and you're competing. So you may not realize that you're competing. So you can't just say, hey, I'm okay with this one. You have to be open to two or three other channels that you can also spread your content to. But I would start with the one. Make sure you understand the one that you spend a lot of time on from a marketing standpoint. That way, you're giving yourself a good foundational leverage to start off from, right? As opposed to starting all the way from scratch. It helps you understand. But whatever you learn with the channel you choose, they're usually translatable at some level to other platforms. They tend to be maybe different in terminologies here and there, but they tend to be the same concept. There's a news feed and there's sponsored ads and then there's organic reach, there's engagement. They tend to be the same things, sometimes difference in terminologies, you know.
You know, I love it. I can tell you why. Because most marketing books, guides, experts tell you need to find where your audience is. For example, if my audience is on Instagram or TikTok, but I don't understand how it works, so I'm not sure that I can get any result with that, because I think you can't skip something that you need to understand and where you enjoy spending your time. For example, if you enjoy YouTube, you can film great videos. Why you need to go to other places? Because of best practices, because of the audience are there. Audience is everywhere. You can find audience on LinkedIn,
Yep.
on YouTube, on Twitter. People have different mindset. Even on TikTok, you can reach out to B2B segment, because you don't reach companies. You
Yeah.
get people who can transfer your data to others. So you need to find the right format to
Yep.
transfer this data, so you can win everywhere. I agree with that 100%. I love it,
Facts.
because yeah. Okay, can you tell about your journey? How to build this empire?
Right. So I'm still building my empire. You know, the journey is exactly what you called it. It's a journey, right? And the destination is the journey itself. You know, the empire is the journey itself. It's for me. It's control. You know, the fact that I can control my route. Like, this world is vicious. This world is a very dangerous marketplace. Someone is out to take your territory at any point in time, you know. So the one thing you can control is your journey. Like, you can choose to continue or you can choose to quit, right? And even if you arrive at a destination, right, that destination is a territory that somebody is looking to take. So if you get too complacent or you get too weak, somebody's going to take that away from you, you know. So for me, that's how I look at an empire. The fact that you have control to continue to build throughout your journey as a person. And that's how I think of digital marketing. That's how I think of relationships. It's an ongoing thing. You're always working at it, right? And if you can enjoy the process, you're having a good time. And that to me is the empire. Because there's no empire that lasts forever. It's never existed. It's If you start to feel complacent, somebody is going to take over, and we can see that example in history. We can see that example in our faces, all this kind of stuff. So I think as an average human being can literally build their own empire by taking full control of their journey. And that's how I think of it. And that's what I am doing with my Empire Pro as well. It's just a platform where people can come to and say, you know what, I got a message I want to share with the world. It's a journey. I can help somebody create a better result. I can bring some sort of value to the marketplace, right? And every single person that can turn around and say, hey, this person helped me, that's another empire right there. Sorry about that. That's another empire that's been built right there. And so it's not about just my empire, it's about helping other people take control of their lives, effectively having their own empire.
Nice, nice, love it. Let's talk about management. For example, I think all companies need to to consist of great experts. And for example, I usually spend some time by hiring the right people. I made bad hiring as well, so that's process. Can you tell about management? For example, in my SEO agency, I'm so bad with content creation, I'm so bad with link building, I'm so bad with PR, technical optimization, name them, but I cooperate with great people. I can manage them, I can lead them to create a cohesive, great product. Can you tell about management? How to manage people from your experience to provide great results?
I'm PMP certified, so I know the corporate end of things, and I decided to take that on because I've always worked for myself as an entrepreneur. So I'm a little disconnected from the corporate world. I have been over the past 5 years. I decided that I wanted to tap into that world of corporate. I decided to. So I started consulting in healthcare. So I have a little peep into that. I have a little bit of experience with that on a very freelance level, but still I engage with them heavily. So I decided not too long ago to get certified in project management. And the beauty about that is that it allowed me to put pen to paper on what it takes, right? It's a good reminder of what it takes to, but I've always managed people because I have people that work for me and people that work to help me accomplish what I do. It's a lot of work, right? Managing people is, if I was to round it down to one thing, it's emotional intelligence, right? Everyone cares about something. Everybody cares about something. And it's your responsibility to find out what they care about. At least have an idea, right? Because that's how you're going to help them help you. Okay? Everyone only cares about what they care about, how they feel. That's the bottom line. And until you start to care about what they care about, they don't care. Right? On the surface, it might look like they care about the paycheck, but there's a reason why they care about the paycheck. You need to find out what that reason is. There's a deeper reason why they care about that paycheck on Friday, because they can also replace you. With all these remote jobs all over the place, before they apply and get aggressive for the next few weeks, your best resource can be replaced, or they can replace you. But once you start caring about what people care about, it gets super easy to manage them, because that's what they care about. That's all they care about. What they care about is what they care about, right? But if you are disconnected and you just care about what you care about, maybe you want them to take care of some task and they're not taking care of it. If that's all you care about, you're going to fall flat on your face, because people don't care at the end of the day. They only care about what they care about.
Yeah, love it. Ola, I have the question about information that I found on your LinkedIn profile about your company, that you can help businesses scale clients, sales, deals via massive digital marketing media. Okay, it's interesting. Let's talk about scaling, how to get more results. It's not like to hire 2 more people to get 2 more results. So you need to find the right strategy. Can you tell how to scale something that works well, that get customers, but not enough to grow, to go ahead, to get more customers on board? Tell more about scaling.
All right, so scaling is a very difficult thing, because for every level you get to, a new set of problems are created.
Yeah.
Right?
More headache.
Right. So it's not a linear formula. Like it's not 2 times X, you scale it, right? That sounds simple. What is the X? The X is like a bunch of stuff that we don't know until you get there, right? So for every level you get to, there's a new set of problems. That means there's a new set of skill sets you need to learn. Somebody that really covered this really, really good recently that I covered is Homozy. That's Alex Homozy, something like that, right? Yeah, Alex Homozy, right? He covered that really good. There's a basic skill set that we have. The first skill set, let's say for example in digital marketing, right? First skill set is MMM, right? That we learned from the great Dan Kennedy, right? Market, message, media, right? That's basic. So on the surface that sounds like, there's 3 variables that you need to learn, right? But there's an X for every level you get to. There's something called slippage. So if you have a successful campaign, right? If you increase the ad budget, right? You would think it's supposed to create the same results, right? Multiply, but it doesn't work like that, right?
Yeah.
Because there's a whole marketplace type of X. So your job is consistently looking for what is that X factor at that new level, right? So, and sometimes you can't see it. You need other set of eyes to help you see it, right? So analytics, right, is really, really key in all of this kind of stuff, and consistently, right? So data analyst, having a good person that has those skill set of assessing and say, okay, when we increase this budget, It did not create. What is the X factor here, right? And it's a consistent thing, and you have to pay attention to that. Because I'll tell you, one of the things that kills this whole thing for us is pride. And when you ascend to a new level as a human being, remember emotional intelligence, as a human being, naturally pride creeps in, right? Because hey, you're doing well, you're doing fantastic, right? And that pride is something you have to watch out for. At that point in time is where you have to say, hey, I'm at a new different level. There's definitely a new set of problems. As a default, I know there's new. I need to find out what these new problems are so that we can adjust for it at that new level. So we're talking about scaling, right? Scaling is difficult, but it's doable with a healthy level of humility.
Yeah, nice. What I see, one word, I can highlight this word on your marketing message on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Sales, sales, sales. You use a lot of sales. And, I remember once I spoke with a website owner, and he told me he lost 400,000 traffic. Google dropped his traffic, but he didn't lose sales. It's interesting. He had a massive traffic that didn't sell, so he doesn't need this traffic. Can you tell about creating the right marketing message that covers buying persona, that consider your unique selling proposition? Because it's not only about traffic. For example, if I get traffic SEO, I can't sell this traffic because I have no tools, I have no something, but I can sell SEO services that covers my buying journey. Tell more about considering your buying persona in marketing message.
Persona?
Yeah,
like
buying persona or
the personal brand.
Yeah.
Oh, like unique. Okay. All right. So the way I think of it, this is just my thought process around personal branding. Fortunately, the way I was launched into this game of digital marketing back in 2009 was led with personal branding. Personal branding was a big deal. Today, we're talking about product branding because obviously digital marketing is becoming more of a corporate thing now, right? So there's only so much you can use personal branding, but we can when you start looking at influencers, the effect of influencers and endorsement deals. The idea is to still put somebody's face on it, right? So because people I still believe strongly, even though it's changing a little bit, I still believe that people want to do business with people, and not logos, right? So logos are cute. Logos have a subconscious effect on the human brain. When they see your logo, they recognize, but it's also based on track record, right? But with a personal branding, it's almost like there's no need for track record. People can see you and they can relate with a story, right? And they can decide because they feel good about your brand, your personal brand, and decide to do business with you, right? But at some point, you're going to need logos and things they can recognize and stuff like this. You're only one human being, right? So we have the Apple, right? And then you have the person, Steve Jobs. Most people that use iPhone don't know who Steve Jobs is, right?
Yeah.
Right? So, but when you see that Apple logo, you recognize it, right? So they play different roles. I do think that if you're starting, depending on how small your business is, the smaller your business is, the more you need personal branding. The more you need good storytelling, right, in your messaging, because that's what people are going to relate with, right? There's a saying that story sells, facts tell, but story sells, right? Even when it comes to product branding, at that level, you still need good storytelling, right? But maybe less of it, maybe more of fancy filmmaking and all that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, I still think that people do business with people, right? And and not with logos.
You remind me the story from Apple when Tim Cook presented a new Apple Watch. He didn't share features. He didn't share any specifics. He shared 3 stories how Apple Watch can decide problems, simplify your life. After that, I bought 3 pairs for me, for my wife, my son, because I can't buy only for me. They probably kill me. If I ignore them. But
Right.
by the way, right now.
I,
Right now, Atlantic Ocean owns my Apple Watch, so I don't have them. But
right.
it's life. And what I found, how Tim Cook can craft the story. And after watching this presentation, I got the feeling I need it. I wanna have it on my hand. So can you tell how to provoke this feeling? By sharing stories, because for example, if I watch advertisement from BMW or Mercedes Benz, I can get this feeling, oh, I wanted this fancy car. And BMW doesn't share about features that other cars can have. Many other cars can have. But I see happy people who drive this car, and it looks great. So it's more about covering emotions, not logic. So tell more about that.
Yeah. Like you said, emotions. Like you said, you were giving the example of the watch just now, right? The watch is and there's a feeling that you caught. I said something earlier, which is still also very valid in the example you just gave, right? People only care about their feelings. People don't give a shit outside of their feelings. Excuse my French. They just don't. Okay, so if all you are doing is taking a piece of gadget and you're showing us the feature and all this, it's like, what can it do for me? What's in it for me? It's selfish.
Yeah.
I know it's corporate, blah blah blah, but at the end of the day, it's selfish. What can this do for me? Not do for me physically or help me wash my plates. Not that. In terms of feelings. Like there's the 6 basic human needs, right? Part Tony Robbins and some other older guy, right? There's significance, there's certainty, there's varieties, right? There's growth, right? There is 2 other ones that I always forget, right? But if those things are not covered, your product doesn't matter. Sometimes people buy your product because they feel like a king, they feel like a queen. Feelings, right? If your product does not provoke feelings in people, you're going to suffer in a very active marketplace where there's competition all over the place. It's really that simple. And I know for an average person, when we're talking about marketing, they're thinking corporate, right? But in reality, people 85% of the time buy with their emotions and then justify with logic later. And you have to always factor that in when it comes to marketing, even when it comes to sales. Let's say you're actively talking to someone on the phone to hard sell them. You have to provoke those feelings. And it's not about making them feel good. It's about making them feel what's in it for them. Beyond just the moment, right? So sometimes you have to tap into 3 years from now. What would this feel like? What if this? What if that? Okay, what does that mean to you? Right? Those are the open-ended questions that help you get people to start feeling. Once you can do that, then it's easier to sell packages at any level. You can even bundle them up in a way that doesn't make pragmatic sense, but it makes sense from a feeling and emotional standpoint. And that's why they're pulling out their credit card to buy. If you understand that this is timeless concept, it doesn't matter what generation you're in or what time, it's always true. But even more so now than ever before because the noise is quite a bit.
You remind me the conversation that I had with Jim Edwards. He worked on Business Insider for 10 years. He started on this company from scratch, and then they grew company to and sold for $500 million, a lot, 1,000 employees around the world. And he told me the success depends on creating non-boring content in boring niche. So when they created content that was interesting to read, consume, and I see it's a big problem with many business books. They are good for sleeping. When you have the problem with sleeping, what you can do, just take another book, read it, and sleep well. Don't remember anything about that. So can you tell about creating excitement content, non-boring, that interesting to consume, that can cover, okay, we can create the story, we can craft the story, but how to create excitement content that, can catch my attention and keep until the end. Because, for example, my living offer is Jack London. When I take these books, I can leave them for 8 hours. I can forget about meal, about water, about anything, because I can live on this book, on this adventure. So can you tell how to create such content that people want to consume until the end?
All right. So first of all, tell them you're excited. Okay. Tell them. They're the human mind, right? The human mind is a very funny thing, right? If you tell it what to do, it does it, at least for that moment. And it's a great thing to build on top of, right? Now, you can fake it a little bit, but at some point you have to do a little bit more, right? So there's an ongoing thing. So, but in the beginning, I always, once I remember, because this is something I have to work on myself. It's not my natural self. My natural self is like, hey, if the value is there, the value is there. What do I need to excite people about? But the truth is that people are a full-blown human being that they have a lot of other things going on, and you need to provoke them to be excited. And the way I do that, something I need to build on top of is like, I'm excited to share this with you, right? And I have to remember to say that, because my natural self, I could actually easily translate that to rah-rah, like you're fake. But the truth is that the human mind doesn't know that. The human mind needs to be excited. It needs attention. You need to provoke some kind of attention, because without the initial attention, nothing else matters. If you can't capture people's attention, nothing else matters. So sometimes you have to do like that and say, hey, check this out, right? So that's number one. Number two, on an ongoing basis, every stage you get to, okay? I'm a big fan of the 12-step sales letter, right? For every segment in that customer journey, you have to provoke that excitement, okay? So when I say what's in it for me, WIIFM, right, is at every stage. So you start with the capture their attention, right? Get the attention, right? I'm excited. Why? Oh yeah, that's a good question. This is what I have for you. How would you feel if this happened? I'm spreading out the problem that I'm trying to solve. I need to agitate that problem in an exciting way, right? Obviously, problems are not exciting, but you get the point. Like, you need to use adverbs, adjectives to agitate what that feels like. And then you say, you know what? I know that's crazy, but I have something that you definitely need to take a look at that basically cover all of this, right? So now I'm at the segment of giving solutions, right? And all those other different segments that's there, either you're invoking scarcity, either you're invoking a reminder or something, you need to be excited through the process. So it's about paying attention. Either we're talking about the creatives from ads, right, to content, to you need to understand that human beings, the attention, especially now more than ever before, the attention span is all over the place. So you need to do an excitement is something that I personally have to keep reminding myself, because again, as a person that's been doing this for more than a decade, naturally I'm like, I'm relaxed. I'm like, but I have to remind myself that my audience haven't been doing this for 12 years. Right? So, and that's something that is an ongoing thing. So you're absolutely correct about that. You have to be excited. You don't start telling yourself like, hey, the value is good enough. If it's what they want, is what they want. No, that's not true. There's an active marketplace going on, and that guy who is always smiling, who is always talking fast. If you know Russell Brunson, always talking fast, that guy is always going to get most of the sales. And here you are, you're overanalyzing and say, why does he have to do that? He knows exactly why he needs to do that. Because humans are not as intentional as they think they are. They need to be excited. They need to be excited. They need to be incited to get them to move. Because again, life is tough by itself. People have a lot of other stuff they're worrying about than your stupid product that has all these features. They don't know about the features until you let them know about the features. Until you get them excited about the features, right? And dare I say, sometimes you don't have to mention the feature at all. You just have to get them excited, and they'll be buying.
Yeah, love it. So exciting, you,
Excited.
you can inspire. Okay, let me quote something from your company profile on LinkedIn.
Okay.
My Empire Pro is a training platform for digital marketing specialists as well as entrepreneurs who wants to master the art of sciences of getting more leads, more leads, more leads. Okay, let's talk more about that. You know, the main problem, what I can see with marketers, they usually spend so much time by learning and do nothing. I don't know how to get results if you read 100 books, for example, how to play soccer, and wanna beat Cristiano Ronaldo or Lionel Messi or anybody else. I think many great sportsmen, entrepreneurs, they prefer to act, to do something, not to learn. And I remember when Bill Gates shared how he reads books, he usually makes notes and think how he can implement these ideas. People have short memory. We can
Yeah.
forget about anything for a few days. I can forget
Yeah.
for a few hours. Just tell me, I'll forget. But I think when you learn something, you need to act, to practice, to analyze what actually works. Can you tell your methods how to teach marketers in the right way that they can practice and act, not only just to learn?
That's a good question. So, I created a program. It's a 15 weeks program, elaborate program. The truth is that most human beings are not going to go through it. They'll be distracted unless they are like a college student and that's all they do. But most adults that are busy about life, it's just very hard. Some do, some fall apart, some pick it up weeks later and stuff like that. The best way to get people to act is a challenge. Okay? It's the reason why I created the 11 days challenge. Okay? It's short span, it maintains the attention span, they execute, we remove all the flaws. It's step by step by step. They can reference back to day 2, they can reference back to day 2, step 3, right? And there is actually action taken. Of course, I inject while you're taking each step, right? But then doing is the best way to learn. That's just the reality, right? It's the best way to retain, because people learn by themselves by just doing, not without talking. One of the things that we overrate in relationships and business is talking, right? We overrate it when it comes to communication. We think communication is talking, right? The only thing closest to talking that's useful in communication is listening. Talking is a waste for the most part. If we were to isolate it, they're just talking. People, eventually people tune you out because it's monotonic, and especially if it's the same voice, right? But listening is obviously somebody has chosen to actively listen to something. So we can always give that a plus, right? As part of communication, because you're learning, and obviously listening is a completion of somebody saying something to you, and that means communication is actually happening. But a lot of times, as the people talking, we're talking and people are not listening to you, so no communication is happening in reality. You know what I'm saying? So I say that to say this, right? You have to make sure that whatever message you're putting out there is landing. How do you do that? You make sure it's the right audience. So, and when we say the right audience, remember in the beginning we talked about go to where your audience is. That's true only to an extent. Now, at some point, can you continue the process, right? Can you keep doing the process until you create results? If you go to a platform where you're not engaging or you're going to quit very soon, what's the point? It's pointless. So we have to look at all these things. So I think a challenge is a way to engage people, because you're telling them do this and they go do it. We actually practice the same thing in sales. We don't just end up a sales message by saying, oh yeah, you go to this website or not. We show them how to go to the website. We're like, this is how you do it. You show them, you click on this, you enter your information here, you enter, and then you click submit. That does something to the subconscious mind beyond obviously you're instructing them what to do. It does something to the subconscious mind. Naturally, the human mind wants to translate that to doing. Okay, so I personally think that a challenge is worked fantastically for me. It's my best product. It's my best product that most people appreciate. People don't appreciate my 15 weeks program. They appreciate my 11 days because they actually get something done. They're able to ask question, right? And I make most of the money from those challenges too. Because people are doing, people buy stuff, they buy affiliate programs, they buy because they need those tools to execute. But if they have to wait until 13th week, they're not executing and I'm not making money, So it's quite interesting that you made that point there. If you go to the school programs right now too, because I got teenagers, they're going to school. They also make them do things as opposed to the old school way of just a teacher standing in front of the class and talking all day long. People don't learn from that. People learn from examples and people learn from actually doing stuff.
Yeah, love it. Guys, I recommend this training program so you you can become a better marketer. And I have the question about failure. When you do something, you need to fail. It's part of the process. I remember when Shaquille O'Neal, one of the greatest basketball players, replied to this question, what he thinks about failing. He told he doesn't believe that failing exists because when he started to do something, he always fails. But he can learn, he can go ahead, adapt to new challenges, and be much better. So he doesn't feel failing is failing. He feels it's education, it's learning. And I see in marketing, it's the same. When you start new channel, marketing channel, you need to fail. But you can learn what's going on, to analyze how to go ahead. Probably you can give up and find another channel. That's perfectly fine. I remember when someone told me SEO doesn't work. I shared SEO tips and he told me, no, it doesn't work. It doesn't mean that it doesn't work for you because you spent like a few days, but many companies spend years, to get SEO results. So it's the process. Can you tell about failure? How to go ahead, whatever happens? For example, PewDiePie. He filmed 100 videos to get 285 subscribers. Right now he has 110 million. Mr. Beast filmed videos an year and a half to get first 1,000 subscribers. But these guys didn't give up.
Yeah.
They just doing something that they love to achieve this crazy result. So tell more about patience and failure, how to go ahead. If many strategies don't work, but you need to find what actually will work.
Yeah. What normal people and some losers call failure is data. Right? You have to collect data so you can analyze, assess, and adjust, right? Pivot, right? Kill the losers, scale the winners. How are you gonna know what losers to kill if if you're not failing, right? It's data, if you know anything about what we know today as far as technology is concerned, it's a bunch of failure that we enjoy as technology today, So that's the way I look at failure. Like we've been saying so far, it looks like it almost feels like we're repeating the same point, but it's not. Some people need to hear it in different ways, right? Failure is a necessary ingredient to success. I agree with Shaquille O'Neal 100%. Failure doesn't really exist. You can make it exist if you want to dwell on that, knock yourself out. But some of us, that's what we're looking for. We're looking for more failures because that's how we learn. Because these are tools. These are things that we can look at closer and say, oh, that right there is what I don't need to do anymore. At the very minimum. right? At the very minimum. Usually, oh, that right there is, I can tweak it this way and this will create this massive success. Usually that's the case. There's no such thing as 100% anything that fails. There's a reason why it failed. That reason is data. That reason is success for somebody. But of course, the average person will quit, right? SEO, it doesn't work. What do you mean? If we all go to Google and Google stuff and click on the stuff that is not an ad, right? What do you mean it doesn't work, right? You can say, hey, I'm a quitter. I'm a loser. I don't have enough patience for the process. Well, anything that's worthwhile in life will involve patience, process, and time. Anything that's worthwhile in life, literally. So marketing is not going to be any different. Business is not going to be any different. If you go to my channel right now, it's not where I need it to be, but nowhere close. I started that channel 2016. It still has less than 4,000 subscribers. But I know where I extract my data from. I know what works for me. There's certain ways I can't compare my numbers to other people. It depends on what we're talking about. But I will still like it to be 100,000 or at 1 million plus people like Neil Patel, right? But we're in the process. What I have that a person that quits at 50 subscribers don't have is data. I can look at I have like 1,300 videos up there. I can look at those videos, see which one has done very well. One of the videos has 12,000 views. There's a reason. Oh, let me look at closer. If you look at my last 3 videos, you might notice that I'm mimicking what happened on the 12,000 videos. And I'm basically driving in, right? So, listen, failure is a part of the process, right? But I get it. Granted, everyone can't handle the patience that is required. That's why it's called the top 1%. That's why it's called the top 5%. The process we will go through, some people can go through that. That's okay. That's why there's producers, that's why there's consumers. But if you want to be a producer, you need to understand that. You need to understand that you need to collect data, your own data. Because remember that X factor that I said? Some people will be attracted to Anatoly, right? And some people will say, I don't want to see his face. I'd rather listen to Ola, right? That's the X factor that we don't see. They're not going to tell you. You know what's going to tell you? Failure, data, right? But you know another thing? I don't have to compare my data to his. He has his own little empire. I have my empire. And we're building, and I'm measuring myself against myself yesterday, right? So what is failure exactly? Is it when I compare myself to other people or comparing myself to becoming a better person, right? So I don't know, I think as an entrepreneur, if you're going to use the language failure, please make sure you're always saying data. I'm collecting data. We're moving. We're doing some great things. Oh, did you see what happened yesterday? We had like 100 views came over, and I'm looking at that video. That video could have done better because the day before that had 500 views. What happened? What happened? It's not failure. It's opportunity to zone in on the data and see how you can pivot and again, scale the winners and kill the losers. That's what some people call failure.
Yeah, valuable, so valuable. I agree with that. I have the final question. Let's imagine you started from scratch without any experience, knowledge, skills, anything, just from scratch. What will you do today about building digital marketing empire?
I have the rule of 100. Okay, I created it for myself. Okay, if I'm starting anything new, I'm rolling out 100 pieces of content based off of my understanding of the audience I'm trying to talk to, right? Now, based on my present understanding. So let's say I was starting from scratch. I don't know anything about market research. I don't know anything about doing market research tools or looking for keywords or anything like that. I have an idea of who I'm trying to talk to, right? I will talk to that person 100 pieces of time. And then obviously that 100 pieces of time, we're probably going to have, if we use the 80-20 Pareto's principles, right? It's probably going to be 80% videos that are bad, 20% of them or less will probably tell me something about what this audience is looking to hear more of. It's endless, literally. that 20% is literally the next 100 videos, right? And then we'll continue to drill in like that. That's what I would do. I would not look at any data until I've done 100 pieces of content. It could be 100 pieces of ads. Whatever 100 pieces of that thing that you can look at data, quote unquote failure, and say, hey, what did I learn from this 100 pieces, right? And I would do that. 100 pieces, or you can call it 90 days, a 3-month process that a quarter of a year to zone in, go in. That factors in consistency, right? That factors in you're showing up every day, because you can't succeed if you're not showing up every day. I'm sorry, okay? That factors in that you're learning through the process by doing. That literally factors in everything, right? It's impossible that you continue to do this activity every day for the next 90 to 100 days, that you don't become more of an expert than an average person that obviously will quit on the 50th day or the 6th day, or they're looking for quick results. Obviously, when you're thinking 90 days minimum, you're now getting closer to long term. You have to think of this as a long game. If you think of this as a quick, I think you should stay focused on your job or whatever you already do for success, and don't bother, because like anything else in life, this will drain you sometimes. This will make you feel like it's not working sometimes. But that's the point. That's why it's highly rewarding, okay? Because it feels that way, you know?
Love it. Very inspirational. I love it. Yeah, and I remember one advice that, one tip of advice that I got. You need to film 100 bad videos. You need to write 100 bad articles,
Yes.
Just do something, because like great sportsmen, they train every single day. We can see them on competition, how they play, but we don't see how they work hard every single day. Great book authors, right? Plus 1,000 words a day without any excuses, without waiting any inspiration. They just do their job. Because you can't be successful without training, without doing. But when you craft your skills, you can pay more attention to quality. But quantity is important. Quantity is important to develop your quality. I agree with that, Ola. It's a big pleasure to get on my show, to learn from you. Tell our audience how they can reach out to you, learn more about you, follow you.
I mean, they can check me out at myempirepro.com. I have published 4 books at this point. This is one of them, Digital Marketing. We're also working on relationship. This is one with my wife. I think, I've published 2 real estate books as well, And my angle to real estate is basically helping people find deals. It's marketing, basically, So, but they can find all of that information at myempirepro.com. And then there's also links to my social media to follow me on that platform. If they Google my name, as it's showing on the screen right now, it's all over the place, But I really want to say thank you. It's always a pleasure. Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you for honoring me and bringing me on your platform. It's my honor. Thank you so much.
Yeah, a big pleasure. Welcome back anytime to share more valuable insights, guys. You can find links to social media profiles in the description below. Listen us on Apple, Google, Spotify. Thanks again, Ola.
Podcast. Podcast. I always forget. It's podcast everywhere too. That's true.
I love it. I love all your valuable insights, guys. You need to read Ola books. You need to follow him because you can see a lot of value. Okay, guys, love you. See you.